All right, bang, bang. Here we go. Another no-cut event, WGC. We are moving from Mexico due to COVID, I believe, down to Florida. So the Florida swing is starting earlier. So this is a Jack Nicklaus design course, the par 72, 74, 7,400 yards. And there is a couple things to look at here. So par threes, 3 of the 4 are over 200 yards. So 237, 211, 222 yards. So that's going to be key. One of my key stats for the course. WGC, so it's a smaller field. All the top golfers in the world are going to be here, except for Tiger because his back, I'm presume, is still hurt. And then also Paul Casey. I don't know what his deal is. Y'all, anybody know why he's not playing this?
No, I saw he withdrew.
Okay. So other than that, all the stud golfers are here. No cut event. So I personally always play this a little bit with my bankroll a little bit lighter because I think it's a little bit, I don't know. For me, I struggle with WGC, so I just tone it down back a little bit. Some people bet more. It's kind of a personal preference. But a couple interesting stats here as well, digging in a little bit. One more thing is there is a lot of water. So Ryan Palmer, I'm sorry, but there's water on 12 holes. The greens are elevated as well with a lot of runoff. So another key metric. And if you want to see all the metrics and all the little details that we like, go to dfsdads.com and check out our first look. But with the runoff, the elevated greens around the green is another metric that I'm digging in deeply. So you'll hear us talk about that as we break down who we like and who we do not like. But it's a WGC event. And there's been 14 of these played. And this is a crazy stat. All right. So 8 of them have been won by a top 3 player in the world. I mean, isn't that a crazy stat? Now,
imagine especially JT and DJ, right?
Well, yeah, maybe not. So Price, 10 of the 14 have been won by a top 10 player. So just going to look down the list here of the top 10 players that we have in the world here. So DJ, obviously, Jon Rahm, and Price. Why don't you like Jon Rahm's name?
Because it doesn't have an H in the John, but it has an H in the Rahm. It messes me up. It feels like it doesn't make sense.
And he screwed us on Showdown on Saturday.
But he was elite on Sunday to backdoor that top 10.
And we called it. We said he sucked for us on Saturday. He's gonna ball out on Sunday, and he did.
All right. Talk about not balling out. The number 3rd ranked player is Justin Thomas.
Hey.
Oof, brutal. Then you have Xander, you have Hatton, you have Kawa, who changed his putter grip and makes me a little nervous, but he's a baller. He's a stud. You have Patrick Cantlay up there, Rory Webb Simpson, and then Bryson DeChambeau, who we don't have a lot of history on this course, but to wrap this little first look up, Bryson did win here in 2015 for the NCAA championships. So there is some college tournaments played here, but there's not a lot of key, history to go by except for it's a WGC event. It's no cut. The top players in the world win 8 out of 14 times. So that's key as well. And once again, deep par 3s around the green are crucial this week. So let's get into it. Let's start off at the top, the 10K and above range. Dustin, we'll start with Price. Price, tell me, who do you like here in this 10K plus range?
So if we were in Mexico, it'd be JT because he has back-to-back top 3 finishes at that course. Unfortunately, he has not dealt with the passing of his grandfather very well, which most people aren't going to, and that's kind of reflective on how he's played last week. He does right out top of my model for me this week, but I don't think I'll go there. If I'm going to play anybody, it's going to be DJ or Cantlay. Those would be the 2 I'd look at. Although there is 6 guys this time, there's usually not. But Cantlay is a nice value, and those would be the 2, and then JT would be a GPP flyer for me in this range.
Yeah, so Cantlay rates out number 1 on my model. He's flat 10K, the cheapest of the expensive golfers. He is an elite player. Even when he doesn't play well, he finishes, or it looks like he's not playing great. He finishes, he top fives events, or I think he 3 events ago, he got 15th and he was playing awful. So that's how elite this player is. And at 10K flat, I just love the value there because you go 400 up for a Rory who is not playing great. I'm tired of losing money on playing him on the week long. I'll play him in showdowns, but I'm not risking it for the biscuit for him. JT, we hit on him. He's off the tee game and he is not playing great. Other circumstances as well. Xander is somebody at these WGCs and these tougher events plays really good, but he's getting more and more popular. He's always been popular, but I feel like it's skyrocketing. And at 10-8, I don't like it. So I have no problem playing DJ at 11-6, but with the amount of great players here, I don't want to dip too much in the 6K range. Patrick Cantlay is where I'm starting the day.
I will say with Rory, so he just broke the longest streak on tour of made cuts.
Wasn't it 25?
Last time, the tournament after a miscut, he finished 4th. The time before that, after a miscut, he finished 1st. The time before that, 12th. The time before that, 8th. The time before that, 1st. He has a history of coming back with a vengeance.
Yeah, he's still priced kind of high though. I mean, you look at, it's kind of crazy to see Bryson lower than some of, Patrick Cantlay, but Cantlay has been so solid. I mean, he obviously didn't putt very well this last tournament, kind of didn't take care of the par fives very much, but his game has been super solid. I think he got 2nd and 3rd the past 2 tournaments and got 15th this last weekend. So
yeah. And I still don't think he's playing his best ball, and getting 2nd, 3rd, and 15th is incredible. And honestly, his not only just is he number 1 in my model, but the stats, like around the green, he's number 2, par 3, 200, 225, he's 3rd. Like everything is solid. Even when you say his putting is horrible, in my model, he's 16th in putting. So, and at 10,000.
I didn't say his putting was a hindrance to him this last weekend. He's actually been pretty good, across the board in everything. But to me, it's just, I mean, this field is stacked. You look at Tony Finau, who, even though he lost, played really well. I mean, not really a flaw in his game besides his putting as well. He the first day I think was pretty terrible, and then he kind of came back, but
3 straight runner-ups for him too.
Yeah, he can't break that curse, man. And that was in his head. It looked like he was going to take it when Homa was behind the tree, but yeah. So I mean, this is tough because you got JT and Rory, who we both know what they can do, but they're both not playing well. And then obviously DJ kind of sucked on Sunday.
He sucked, and he's still played amazing compared to pretty much everybody else.
Yeah, his short game killed him. It was terrible. Anyway.
All right, so let's move on down. Like I said, Bryson's won here in 2015 in college, 9,900. His stats were actually really good. They were not bad last week. His putting for that 1 round was awful, but he came down 2nd round. Played well. He just missed the cut. Yeah, he came close, but I don't know what I think about Bryson. It's just because his putting right now is not good, in my opinion. His around the green game is not great. Even his par 3, 200, 225 is not the best. So a lot of those stats that I care about, not that good. And he doesn't rank out that well for me either. But 9,900, he fits in the criteria of a top 10 player to win this thing. Where are y'all at with him? Or would you rather go down? I mean, I think probably Finau is a better play than him.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't dislike Bryson. Like you said, same in my model. He actually ranks 9th, which is obviously pretty good, but Finau ranks 2nd. So I think Finau's in a little better form. You don't know how this, close loss, is gonna be mentally on him, but I just think Finau's, all around just playing playing better than Bryson right now. So I go a little bit recent form for those two because they're both long off the tee. They kind of have the same type of game. So I'll just go Finau if push come to shove for this week.
You already know who I'm going in this range.
Burger?
Tyrrell Hatton. I'm going right back to him. Right back to him. He's gonna win this mother.
All right. Talk about a legit golfer is really good. The young stud Victor Hovland is the player I am targeting at this 9K range. His off the tee game is incredible. His ball striking is amazing. Some of his around the green game, not the best, not terrible though. And when he putts the ball, just average. He's amazing. So he's gaining. It's incredible. He's gaining the last couple tournaments, tee to green, 7 strokes. And for really the last 5 or 6 tournaments, his ball striking has been phenomenal. So I really like Hovland this week. I played him last week, paid off, but it's more of a personal preference because his around the green and then par 3, 200, 225 is not good in my model at all. But at 9,400, he's great off the tee and he's a baller. So I really liked Hovland here.
Personal bias, eh?
Yeah. There's some good stats there too.
Question for you. Who do you think is the 5th ranked player in the world?
I know who the 5th ranked player is in the world.
The guy who's better than Rory, Bryson, Brooks.
But 200 extra bucks for Hatton, man. I just don't know if I can withstand that $200 blow.
Hatton will finish above Hovland in this tournament.
I'm taking Berger over all of those guys.
Berger's my 3rd favorite. It's Hatton, Patrick Reed, Berger, and then Webb Simpson in this range for me.
So
just hasn't really had it together with his.
Where are y'all with Kawa though? Because he's striking the ball really great. It's just he changed his putting grip. Are you just fully off until that gets fixed?
I don't care about him changing his putting grip because he was god awful at putting to begin with. He was 190th on tour in putting. So
yeah, I think he lost 7 strokes.
I know, but it's
he
not
made
the
the cut and lost 7 strokes putting.
And a corollary course for this is Murfield, which is the Memorial, where he lost like 8.5 strokes putting. So
yeah, he gained 7.5 on approach. That just tells you how bad he's putting. Like putting's mental, and you had the aspect of he's just not a good putter. And so yeah, I'm not taking.
For me, it's if Caldwell gains stroke putting on Thursday. I mean, he might be winning the whole tournament by a couple of strokes by then, but that's a great showdown play if it looks like his putter is a little bit in form for a showdown. But for a week long, I agree with y'all. It's hard to click that button whenever you have these elite players around him too.
You know what's crazy is look at these guys in this field, and when I won all that money a few years ago, I was able to fit Justin Thomas, Patrick Cantlay, Brooks Koepka, and Tommy Fleetwood in the same lineup.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say is the build this week is going to be rough. I mean, you have a lot of guys in the 9K range that are elite, and then you obviously have the top end guys, but it's like, where do you start? Especially it's a no-cut event, obviously. So, it's going to be.
I think you started really personally with Cantlay and Hatton after our discussion. There's a couple guys in the 8K range though. That's, first off, you have somebody who came out of retirement. He hasn't played in 2 weeks, Sungjae Im. So welcome back from retirement. He plays every week. So I can't believe he didn't play for 2 straight weeks. So he's probably going to be rested and ready to go. He makes cuts. Are y'all a Sungjae Im fan?
Yes. 100% this week. Sungjae.
I mean, I'm not against him. I don't really know if I'm all in like my price, but I look down, like a Neiman. I know he had an atrocious Saturday where he shot, like 6 over, but then came back, played really well, and overall. But you take out that Saturday, he's played really well. Obviously, has been playing well previous to this. and you can get a guy that's at 8,100, rates out really well in a lot of the metrics that I'm looking at for this week. So that's somebody I think I can get value on at 8,100 that can perform. I mean, a lot of people had bad days on that windy ass Saturday. So
Just happened to be most of our showdown picks.
I like Joakim. I love Neiman. He's 7th in my model. Rates out well on all the the ball striking. Obviously, his around the green, the putting isn't the best. Very familiar with Will Zalatoris as well. At a flat 8K, he's 5th in my model. He's 3rd on approach, which is every week. Strokes gained approach is the number 1 stat. I would say. I think most people would say that. He's 1st in my model on the 200 to 225 for the par 3s. Once again, 3 out of 4 holes are going to have that. So that's an advantage there. Ball striking, he's 6th in the middle of the road on around the green and putting. But at 8K, I think that's some major value right there. The other person, just to note, I don't think I'm going to click the name, but he stands out from around the green and the par 3s. He's 3rd and 5th. Is Cam Smith, and he rates out my rank 10th. So I did not expect that at all.
Yeah,
I don't know.
He was one of mine that I was. I'm laughing because I faded him. He was my fade last week, and in all honesty, he'd been playing bad the last couple tournaments, but he turned it around. Obviously, played really well down the stretch. He just kind of went through a little lull there. Seems to have regathered. And then he's got the mullet. I mean, how do you not like the guy? Mullet, mustache, and he's like Chris said, he's number 1 around the green, number 1 in 200 to 225 par 3s. So I like him, especially coming off a confidence building performance like that. What do y'all think about Homa? I mean, right there at 8,600, just won, playing really good.
No.
Pass. He's not even going to get a practice round in this week.
Nope. He just won a tournament. No way. He's not.
I don't necessarily care about him coming off a win. It's just the fact that he's literally just said he's not going to have time to have a practice round in. He's just going to show up and play because he's played this before when he was in college. So I'm gonna pass on that.
Yeah, especially for this price, like when you have all these other players around him. I'm surprised you haven't talked about Scotty yet, Price. That's kind of interesting.
Well, that's because I was letting y'all yap about these guys who don't matter when Scotty's there.
You can't say that. When I say Will Zalatoris, you like kind of get a little chubby going. So you can't be saying that.
It's Sungjae and Scotty in this range for me.
Okay.
Scotty's 4th in my model. So
did you move all the metrics around just to get Scotty way up there in the model?
Well, I'm not really. He's just that good.
He is really good. He can just be really bad at times too.
Yeah. I will say his around the green game is really good. So and
we love Scotty.
Awesome.
I mean, he's
we
made
do
us
love
a lot of
Scotty.
money.
Scotty pissed me off though on that one showdown. Granted, we hit with them.
Yeah.
Yep.
But he was the worst. Who would have known a cucumber would have pulled it out for us. So let's move down to the 7K range, and then the 6K range. Anybody standing out to you, Dustin?
I like Leishman.
Leishman, talk to me.
He obviously rates out well. He's played really well, coming into the tournament. And I think that, he's kind of one of those guys that has the wherewithal within him to do well at an event like this with a lot of, top ranked guys, and can put together a good weekend. I don't expect him to win, but I can see him easily getting, top 20, top 15 if he's on his game. So let me see, I had it picked out here. Yeah. So he was obviously 4th at the Sony, 18th at the Farmers, and then 32nd last week. His around the green game was off, but his approach has been really good over the last 4 tournaments, gaining, 4, 6, 3, and then 1.5. So I like guys that can get it on the green and give themselves opportunities. So a guy that's that price point, obviously been playing well, coming in, at 7,400 for sure. Sign me up.
I'll take Harris English over him this week easily.
Sounds like we have a bet.
Because I don't know if you noticed that trend when we started talking about how Leishman finished. It was going the wrong direction.
Well, just one. I mean, yeah.
What do you mean one? It was 3 in a row. He went from 4th and then worse and then worse. And this week he'll be worse. That'll be 3 in a row.
Okay, well, he got from 24th to 4th before that, so he got better one tournament.
No, but English rates out very well for me. And he never, ever rates out well for me. So this is like the first time where he actually rates well, and he's 7,500, where he has been in the high 8s, low 9s a lot. So you get a discount on him, and he has elite short game. He's around the green, his putting. He's a very, very well balanced player.
He's trending in the right direction too.
And a guy who you said you don't like, just Ryan Palmer for me.
I like Ryan Palmer.
I don't
There's
care about the water.
holes with water.
I don't care about the water. He's played completely different golf this year than he ever has.
Yeah, he rates out really well for me too.
He's been playing fantastic this year.
Your boy Harris English does two missed cuts in a row. So you want to talk crap about my Leishman?
Yeah, that's why he's 7,500.
I will say the big fade in this range is Matthew Wolff. Matthew Wolff, whenever he's losing like 5 strokes off the tee, multiple events in a row, that's when you know you need to move off the man. And so he is a full fade. I understand he's a young gun, a lot of talent, and I understand his price is 7,600, but that's a full fade for me.
What about your boy Jason Day?
Jason Day around the green is phenomenal. Short game is
you know what else
just
he's
pristine.
around? He's around Disney World, where he'll withdraw and go to there with his kids.
He also gained, I think, 10 strokes at the Pebble Beach Pro-Am a couple weeks ago. So Jason Day is a golfer that I am excited to roster. I have him start up 7,800 lock and load. Him and Willie Z, 8,000, 7,800, great value. I agree with Price on Harris English as well. I have him marked off. And then also one other player who's better than Ryan Palmer is 100 more at Carlos Ortiz.
Ooh, no way.
What do y'all think about that?
I don't mind Ortiz. I wouldn't say he's better than Palmer.
So he missed the cut last week, but he's been gaining strokes, like 10 strokes, 5 strokes, 7 strokes. Then he lost 7 strokes, then gained 10. He's playing well. He's playing great golf. And this is a great price range. And his around the green is 7th, putting is 11th, off the tee is 15th.
He has been playing very good golf for him. I can tell that missed cut. I think he had
3 top 10s.
8 tournaments in a row where he finished like top 35.
Yeah,
which is pretty solid for him. Billy Ho's a pretty good. I mean, he's only $7,000 this week. I'm used to seeing him in the high 7s, low 8s, and he's a Florida guy. I think that's a good play.
Kisner.
And I'd rather play McIntyre than Kisner. It's a little bit longer course. McIntyre's a Euro stud, but he's going to start playing over here more, hopefully. He's very, very good, but the majority of his damage has been done on the Euro Tour. So I'd like to see how he does stacked up against this competition.
Yeah, before you pull that trigger.
I mean, I kind of like Kisner, though. He's played well, and he's kind of one of those all-around, well-rounded golfers, and he's 7,000.
I think Billy Ho just rates out a lot better for me than Kiz.
Yeah, I mean,
I hate Billy Ho and love Kisner, so it's kind of tough for me to go that route.
I think if this was a cut event, I would be all in on Kisner. But since it's not, then yeah, I see what you say with Billy Ho. He is a little more scoring ability.
And now I'll let y'all play around in the next range before I jump in.
All right. Well, I'll start with.
I like Rasmus.
Oh, go ahead, Dustin.
This Rasmus the
Okay, can you say that last name again, please?
It's hard to pronounce, but I like him. I like him a lot.
You don't even know who he is.
Why do you like him?
Because Price likes him. He texted me earlier about him. So I stole his thunder. Now, if he does well, then I look like a genius. So Price, tell us about Rasmus.
It was a trick just to have you say that on here.
He's actually rates out pretty good in my model, but
Well, Price, go ahead. Tell us what you like about the dude.
He's a stud over in Europe. Has 2 top 10s this year already. He did well last year. He's coming off back-to-back top 9s. I mean, and he's played in those 2 events. It was pretty good fields. I mean, that was when DJ and Finau and all them were overseas. So he can hang with the big boys. He's cheap.
I will say this. I do know a lot more of these 6K guys this week than I normally do.
I really like Abraham Answer this week too.
Hey,
Yes.
geez.
Bang.
He's
6,800.
way too cheap at 6,800.
Yes. Answer is like whenever y'all talk about like Kisner, like that range, like I would say, like, why don't you just go down to Answer at 6,800?
But I love Rasmus. He's another guy. He needs to play over here more. He's very, very good. He's super young. I think he's 20, but he's going to be a stud. And then it's weird seeing Munoz at 6,500 too.
Yeah, Gary Woodland.
I just don't know if I can trust
Woodland.
Woodland.
Wagon, man.
I will say with these raised greens and the fall offs, the smaller greens, putting and around the green is going to be important. And Brendan Todd at 6,400 is not a sexy pick, but he can top 25 here and put up some DraftKings points for you.
What about Bernd Weisberger?
Our boy.
He's another guy. He's great around the green.
You know who's really great at not around the green is Lanto Griffin.
Yeah.
But he's number 2 in putting in my model.
Good at everything else.
He's number 2 in par 3, 200, 225. His approach, which is the most important metric, top 15 for me. So, and he's 21st on my model. So 6,700 at 21st on my model is some good value.
You got 7th at the Farmers and 26th last week. So, I mean, you know, he's trending in the right direction as far as, you know, playing well.
I'm just glad KH Lee's not playing this event, or Price would be like instant clicking right now in the low 6K range for him.
Done well for us.
I know he has.
The low 6K range would be Eric Van Rooyen.
EVR.
I mean, super cheap for him. I know he hasn't played that well coming in, but I mean, Jesus. At some point, he's going to turn his game around. And what better than a spot where you don't have to worry about a cut?
Well, it's like Molinari.
What about another low 6K? I guess this is kind of low. 6,400 Mckenzie Hughes.
I'd rather play Brendan Todd at the same price, personally.
No Cooch?
No.
Hell no.
Cooch will be on the Champions Tour next year.
Yeah. I love Cooch, but time has passed him by. He is not the talent. Like Price said this, I think via text. The talent on tour now is so great, and it has passed players like Matt Cooch by.
I mean, think about how good players like Justin Rose, Jason Day, Sergio Garcia are. And there's 25 golfers ahead of them in this.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, if you go scroll through the top, like DJ's older, like him and Rory are the old people at the top of here. Then you have like Rahm, who's young, Xander, JT, Cantley is in his like mid-20s. DeChambeau's young. Finau's still not old. Hatton's young. Brooks is young. Hovland is in his second year. Like, it's crazy. You got Kawa, Sungjae. All these, they're all so young. They aren't going anywhere.
No.
I mean,
it's going to be crazy when those guys are in their mid-30s, like a DJ or a Rory, like the young guns from then. Golf is in a good spot.
I mean, look at Will Zalatoris, who took him like 2 years to get on tour, and now he's playing lights out.
Yeah.
But it's just crazy how good everybody is. I mean, they have the, like, these guys are good commercials. These guys are so damn good.
Just look at this last weekend. You have Homa, who ends up winning it when DJ was two strokes behind on Sunday, you know, and a lot of other good. I mean, Cantlay was there, obviously Finau, you know, Rahm made a comeback. So, I mean, it wasn't like it was him winning a tournament with nobody, And, he's another young guy that is really good.
Mm-hmm. There's so many good players. It's going to be a fun week. You'll get to see a lot of guys who you say you've never seen swing a golf club. There's only 7 playing this week, so you'll get to see some golf shots.
As long as my wife will let me actually watch golf. She despises golf on the TV. She's like, turn that off. I'm like, what do you want to watch? Elmo with the kid? Like, no, come on. Golf is better.
You'd have a man cave.
Yeah, but I still got to spend time with the fam. All right. Dustin, send us out. Where can they find us?
DFSdads.com. Come join us. We got a great Slack. And we have a lot of fun. We win a lot of money, especially on showdowns. I think we're 80?
Yeah, over 80%, 17 of 21. And then the sweat there at the end on Sunday showdown was kind of fun. The playoff with Homa needing to win to cash.
It'd have been a lot funner if he'd have made the birdie on 18.
More fun. English teacher. All right. Bang, bang. We'll see y'all.